Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 4, Episode 5. It's called Lockup. Full spoilers for the episode as always. So, how do you feel about this one, Connor?
Well, it's pretty fun.
Pretty fun. It was, because it was mostly set in the... There was obviously a couple of other things going on, but it was mostly in the prison. They're there to get Robbie's uncle, but the ghost, Lucy, is also there looking for him. So it's kind of like a race against each other. We also find that a lot of the prisoners are watchdogs because that's how they're spreading. If it is it where
Yeah.
they're connecting through the prisons, uh, which led to a pretty fun fight with Skye and like a entire cafeteria full of watchdogs.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I was almost hoping it was going to go into one of its famous Skye oneers, where she does like tons of stuff in one shot. It didn't do that, but it was still fun. I always enjoy these kind of fight scenes when, like, the character who's facing off against the horde, like, starts using things like. Cause at one point she swings it because it's the cafeteria tables that have the little seats that swing out from underneath, and at one point she swings it out into someone's face,
It's really cool.
and she throws someone in there like the fridge or just the a cupboard at one point. It's like she
Yeah,
opens a
she's
big door.
using the trays and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I like that. I like that. It's almost, if you're a wrestling fan, it's almost like a hardcore match where they just use everything in their vicinity to try and hit the other people with. But when it's done very quickly like that, it's got a nice fun flow to it.
Definitely.
But no, so yeah, that was a lot of good stuff. Um, so the main conflicts we have here is obviously them in the prison. Mac doesn't really trust Robbie, who's with them, do his Ghost Rider stuff. We get a couple of fun kills from him with the ghosts. He picks up the chain, he sort of rips him in half. Also, I loved Mac throwing his shotgun axe at the ghost, and it sticks in, but then the ghost just smiles and it
Yeah,
falls
yeah, it's
down.
great. I love how he picked up the chain. He was like, "Do you know what? This was pretty fun before. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that again."
yeah. How long before he just starts carrying a chain with him because he's not always going to have one just sitting there like that. Like how
Yeah,
long before he was, you know what? I really like those chains. I'm going to invest.
it's a smart investment, I think.
I'm going to invest in a chain. Yeah. Also, actually, speaking of fun stuff, even when Coulson and May first go to the prison, and the warden turns out to be infected with the ghost,
Mm.
and Coulson has to like block the gunshots, and he pulls up his shield that he
Chill.
has
Yeah,
comes out of his hand. Again, there was just a lot of fun action beats in this one.
yeah. I feel like we said that last week as well. Or was it the week
No, it
before?
was 2 weeks. It was during the blackout episode. There was a lot of
Yeah,
fun action
yeah, that was
stuff.
2 weeks ago. But if we can get this sort of fun action on such a consistent basis, I'm down.
Yeah, no, it keeps the energy up, keeps it flowing. In meantime, we have Simmons, who's like worried about a lie detector test, and even sort of stuck. By the way, see when she was taking that lie detector test, it was very opening scene from Blade Runner. The way it was like had the close up of the eye in the computer and all that.
Yeah.
That's what it was really making me think of. But then the director like making her help as if things are okay, but then at the end turning around and saying, "Oh, you're gonna have to do that lie detector test again," and then Simmons being like, "Which," and whipping out
Just
the
a little bit of blackmail.
yeah, a little bit of blackmail. But the good thing about that though is that it actually gives us information because this is actually new to us that he is lying about something, that he isn't the public hero that you know.
Makes me wonder why.
Yeah, but
What's
Simmons
the
like.
truth?
Do all of Shield know? Is it like a line wide thing, or is it just Simmons that knows because
I feel
reasons?
like it can't be all of Shield because
Yeah,
the way she says it, the guy doing the tests
true,
doesn't.
true. But I'm wondering, like, does Coulson know, for example? Does our team know?
I'm inclined to think not,
Okay.
just because I think it's more well, maybe not interesting, but I think it's more likely that it's Simmons has a secret that she's been keeping from Fitz after the start of this.
Yeah.
I can see the obvious parallels there, so it just seems that's the more obvious choice.
Yeah. I don't like Fist and Simmons fighting. It upsets me.
Me either. It shouldn't happen, but it's TV, so they're going to do it anyway.
At least it felt more natural than other TV arguments. Like sometimes it feels so forced, where like it didn't feel like we're about to break up. It just like all right, fine, right. You're in a bad mood, and he left to go and do
Yeah.
his job. So it kind of worked. Moment that cracked me up. Max saying he doesn't like needles when Fitz is presenting him with the antidotes for the ghost touching.
I can relate.
What was it? What was it? Matt called it. He said it was like seeing people in the Insane Clown Posse. That's what he
Yeah,
called Robbie. I thought that was really funny. That was a really deep cut reference.
it was, wasn't it?
But no, when he pulls up the injector thing, and Mac's like, I don't like needles. And he's like, oh no, it's barely a bee sting, and it like prongs out into 3 needles. He's like, oh hell no, just as the thing drops out the plane. Good stuff. And even speaking of fun, Coulson and May, like in Coulson try to get her to open up about what she saw or what she experienced when he died, or when she died, because he also died, so he connects with her, but he has a kind of different experience because of the whole Tahiti program and all that.
I like that she says, "Oh, it was no trip to Tahiti."
Yeah, but she reveals that she saw him, and not to let it get to his head. And which is nice enough on its own. That's kind of a sweet thing because they do have that friendship, they have that bond. But I actually got surprisingly emotional. See the scene after this when after they've finished at the prison and May goes to see Skye.
Yeah.
And May, like, and Skye keeps doing this thing. I don't want this for anyone. I want to be on my own. And May's like, look, I invented that. Remember back in the first episode of this show, I was in a cubicle and Coulson came and like wouldn't give up on me, won't give up on you either. And Skye's insistent on this. I don't want this for anyone else. And she's like, tough. It's not your job. Coulson's not going to give up. And I was kind of touched. I was like, because as much as May is, I think because May is so like closed off and so stoic that when she does open up and say, no, look, this guy's never going to give up.
It does have some impact because of it, yeah.
Yeah. And Coulson's shown that he's been like that. Like, he cares about his team, and he's been like that the entire show.
Yeah, definitely.
And because there was even a moment before, like earlier on, when Skye first shows up at the prison to save them, and like May and Coulson have already taken out half the guys because
they decided to meet him halfway.
Yeah, nice line. Yeah, there's this little smirk he gives her, like, just that he's happy to see her back in action. It's like a little sort of like he's clearly happy to have her back out there and see her, and it's kind of awkward for her. And but I love the idea that what will bring her back is to be really cheesy about it is kind of love in a way, like
makes sense.
Yeah, because it's family, and this is something that it's a Whedon show. I mean, Whedon started it, and his brother and sister-in-law run the show. But it's very much a Whedon thing. The idea that you have this misfit family, in Buffy it was the Scooby Gang, Firefly it's the Crew of Serenity, Angel it's Angel Investigations, but you have this group of people who, occasionally you'll have plot lines where one of them is, segregated for whatever reason, they pissed the other ones off, they went down a dark path, but it's always about coming back and being that strong bond.
Yeah, I do appreciate that it feels now, because I remember back in the first season they kept like telling us they were a family, but we never really got to feel it. Whereas now it's like, this is a family.
Yeah, you really feel it. Mac's the big brother, Coulson's the dad, May's the mum, Skye's the teenage daughter who keeps having tantrums, but we'll come around in the end. Oddly touching that point. To talk about sort of main plot stuff and the sort of tease at the end. So Ghost Lady did get away with Robbie's uncle at the prison.
Because Robbie's useless.
And uses him to read the book The Darkhold, which appears to you in your first language, whatever that may be.
Yeah, makes sense.
Which is a nice touch. And she needs him to read from it because she can't anymore. Presumably because she's ghosty.
Yeah, I just assumed it doesn't work on dead people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the technical term for her. I mean, is she technically dead? I guess she is.
She can turn into a ghost and walk through walls. Yeah, close enough.
But is there a body somewhere, or if she does get reverted, will her body just form out of her ghost? Do you know what I mean?
That's true. I don't know.
I guess that's what my question is. But obviously that's building to something, and then the ending. So the big thing with the director that we kind of glossed over because we were talking about Simmons' side of it. The director goes on TV and for this live sort of debate, this live interview with a politician, and the politician is basically inhuman racist and is like, oh, they don't have our values, they're dangerous, they're this, they're that. And actually, what I really like about the director and being so PR friendly is I loved how he took every fact that Simmons gave him but turned it into a much nicer sentence, a much more...
Yeah.
Like, she gave him statistics, 2 humans died, 17 inhumans died, and he turned that into, it's important to remember that more inhumans lost their lives than humans did that night. It's like, oh, that was actually really...
He is essentially a politician himself.
Yeah. So it was a really nice... he's the anti-Trump, because he actually can speak on camera and not sound like an idiot.
Like most competent politicians.
Like most I mean, yeah, you could compare most people to Trump, and they'd come out on top.
Yeah, probably.
Bank accounts aside.
Yeah.
But no, so at the end, like he meets this politician lady in person, and she is like, "Oh, we've got footage from the prison. Here's them working with Quake, and here's this flaming dude. Don't know who he is, but this is on the news, and she's going to get something she wants from him in return for not leaking this out into the world." But his reaction to this was the first time we kind of see him look a bit sinister, like maybe he isn't the cheery, all happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, it could be just played as he's just annoyed that he has to.
Oh yeah,
play to her demands.
I mean, this. I mean, you can read into it as, oh, hence that he's got a darker side, or you could simply read into it as, no, he's just layered, and he has, who he is generally is who he wants to be. It's just, he can get annoyed, he can be pissed off if.
Yeah.
The right things, but certainly I think he's a bit more interesting after this episode. I mean, I liked him before well enough, but I feel like after this one he has a bit more to him, because he is lying about something. He does have this sort of different side to him.
Yeah, I also think it was important for him to come out to the public, because
of course, yeah.
It gives him a personal stake in it. And I think that's important for us to help care about him going forward.
Yeah, he called an audible as well. He just decided to do that mid conversation.
Yeah,
which went down surprisingly well, according to the polls that we hear about. People are always talking about polls, and I often wonder who's taking these polls.
There are companies that just take polls.
Yeah, I know, but it's just they always talk about. It's like whenever you watch something where there's any type of politician like involved in like a TV show or a movie, they're always referring to the latest polls, and it's like there's polls happening on a daily basis. It's just
there are.
Okay, sure, but No,
I'm just saying like that's how it works. I've never
encountered one of these polls.
Have you not?
No, I have never I've never been asked anything.
Oh, I have plenty of times.
Where, online or?
Multiple online. I've done it in just walking around town.
I feel like that's money that could be better spent elsewhere.
Maybe, but you're not the one paying for it, so.
Aye, taxpayer money's paying for it, so yeah.
Well, not necessarily. A lot of these companies are privately funded.
Sure. Still, it feels like they could, surely they could just do it once per week, and they'd save some money.
Well, maybe, but it depends if something happens that day. Things happen every day in the world of politics.
I think it's a waste of money. Polls every day. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. That's all I'm thinking. Right? That's all I'm saying.
It's reality.
Some reality can be stupid.
Well, yeah, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying it's what it is.
I mean, have you met you?
That's a fair argument for your point there.
Well, you're not reality. You're Ginger. There's a difference.
Yeah.
You're like the Ghost Rider. The Ginger just appears.
I think that's a compliment.
But you just don't know how to turn it off, so you're just Ginger all the time. That's what my guess is.
Also, that reminds me.
Okay.
Back in the first episode, we had that really cool shot of him Ghost Ridering up, and we were like, "Oh, they're not going to do this too often." I swear we've had that every episode.
I'd probably say 3 out of 5, if I was to ballpark. Maybe 4.
Yeah, definitely the majority though.
It's frequent though. Yeah, I'll give you it's frequent, and I actually really liked this one because this one felt more intimidating.
It did,
especially when he walked out after the fact, because he kills this guy who is part of the gang who was responsible for putting his brother in a wheelchair. Which is what we learn when he talks to him, and when he walks back out of the cell, and it's all fire and smoke, and he walks back out, and he's just there in full Ghost Rider. It's a pretty epic, that's a superhero shot.
And then all the prisoners run back into their cells. I really love that.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But no, that's Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. episode 5. Pretty good, advanced everything, some touching moments, good action. It's really hard to complain at this point.
It really is. I'm interested to see where the overall plot kind of goes, because I feel like even though we got this ghost in the book, I still don't know where we're going. Which, I don't know, I feel like at this time last year at least I had some idea at least what the plot was going to be.
See, you say that, But
Oh no, no, but okay, at least up till mid-season, even like because we had the Lash thing, right?
well, yeah, but but remember though, before that reveal, because that was around episode 5 actually. Now that I think about it, right?
Yeah.
That reveal who Lash was, like before that reveal, I don't think you could have had too much of an inkling.
Well, no, I wouldn't have said I knew
Yeah.
the exact plot, but it's like you can't. You got the idea that Lash was the threat, and you kind of got that. But these ghosts, it feels like more short term than like Lash did then.
I think the ghosts and whatever the ghosts lead to will be mid-season.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like there's definitely something coming after them that's going to be like the real plot of the season. I just don't know
well,
what.
the Watchdogs are a possibility. They could be a more growing threat, and if they get some sort of leader who's more of a central villain figure,
Yeah, that's possible.
could be that. Could be something that just leads from the ghost stuff. Um, I'm not too worried about it though. S.h.i.e.l.d.'s been very good.
I'm not saying I'm concerned about it. I just was interested. 5 episodes in, and I just can't call it at all.
I think S.h.i.e.l.d.'s been pretty good with that though. I feel like, yeah, okay, you compare it to episode, maybe you had more of an idea at the end of episode 5 last season, but I also feel like, like, actually no, episode 5 last year was the one on the planet. So think about that for a second. Like, that episode
That's
hits and then it completely changes what we think the rest of the season is going to be. Like, before that episode, we had no inkling of what the second half was, but once we've seen that, it was like, okay, it'll be this thing that was on the planet. It'll be, what turned out to be
Yeah,
Hive. So, they could hit us with something like that in an episode or two time, where it's like, oh,
that's true.
this is clearly what the second half is going to be about. Because,
Yeah,
I mean, admittedly, I think last season we were like, oh, that's maybe what season 4 will be about. 3 will all be Lash, and then 4 will be.
yeah. I'm not
Hive.
making that mistake again.
No, no, no. If in doubt with S.h.i.e.l.D., assume everything will be wrapped up by the next episode and we'll start a new plot.
Even finding this book, I thought that was going to take a while.
Yeah, yeah, and here we are. So, yeah, that's S.h.i.e.L.D. episode 5. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, like and subscribe and all that stuff. We will see you next time.